Bam. Good morning, everybody.
Morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning.
Excellent, excellent. I think I'm going to stand up and tap dance for about 3 minutes while the attendee group rises.
Good morning.
Good morning. So I'm excited. There's a lot of really cool stuff going on. And I mixed up the agenda today. I want to thank all the agents who took the time to make their survey questions be known. And I'm proud to report that most of you think we're doing a pretty good job running the sales meetings. A couple negatives and some of the things which we'll work on reducing over time. Everything comes in time. Where is everybody? Oh, we had 8:30 meeting. Chris, at some point today, between 8:30 and 10, a moving truck is coming and I have to open the door and let them in and put the dog away. So I might need somebody to jump in, depending on when they get here, for a minute or two.
Sounds good.
And life goes on.
Yep. All right, there's only 28 people online right now. I don't want to say all the good stuff now. Maybe they're skipping that part, but we're going to begin because no sense in penalizing those who are on time, right?
Right.
We're done with Amazon Music. Here we go. So Kathleen commented that this looked like a Coldwell Banker screen, but it doesn't. It really looks like the book I like called Power versus Force. Dr. Hawkins' books have a cover that look like this, and that reminded me of that. So that's why it looks like that. We're not changing to Coldwell Banker. Okay, so we're going to start off with, let's see. Don't be afraid to start over. This time you're not starting from scratch, you're starting from experience. Interesting. We're going to do something today that I think is going to be interesting, and it's going to give you guys an opportunity to start over with a little more knowledge. So you won't be starting from scratch, you'll be starting from experience. We're going to be pretty proactive on that. Number 2, actions open doors, consistency keeps them open. I mean, these are really relevant for what we're talking about. The struggle you're facing is a test to see if you're truly committed to the life you say you want. If you watch Mike and Jeff's class for the last 2 weeks, they were talking about, if you intend to do something, if you're committed to do something, it's 2 different things, right? If you're committed to knocking on doors or getting for sale by owners or whatever that is lane you're playing in, chances are you'll get out of your way. But if you're not committed to it, it's probably not going to happen. Number 4, miracles start to happen when you give as much energy to your dreams as you do to your fears. If you want a book to read, there's one called The Spontaneous Fulfillment of Desire. I guess kind of deep spiritual stuff, but who wrote that? It's Deepak Chopra. The Spontaneous Fulfillment of Desire. Sounds fun, doesn't it? Miracles start to happen when you give as much energy to your dreams as you do your fears. And number 5, do not get upset with people or situations. Both are powerless without your reaction. Boy, Chris, when we're coaching people, isn't that one of the things we say all the time? It's not what happens to you in life, it's how you react to what happens to you in life.
100%.
That's it. All right, so that gets time for the crowd to build. Yes, we did it. Okay, we're going to start off with my little rant. So here's insight, right? We are one of very few premier flex brokers in the Bay Area. And as a flex broker, Zillow has invested in us because we're very, very good at converting, because we only pay a referral fee if we close, and we don't pay them anything else. So they ride us pretty hard. And as a result, I've got access to metrics that I'll share with you in a little bit, but I also get access to notifications. And something that's happened lately is this thing's chiming all the time. It chimed in last night at 11 o'clock. And here's exactly what it says. Unless I deleted it already. Come on. Okay, I deleted it already. What it said last night at 11 o'clock was Joe is looking again. And about 7 other times yesterday, it says Susie has reintroduced her search, or somebody has raised their price range. or it's reporting back to me that people that had stopped looking are looking again, telling me to go back and activate it. Not me, I'm just copying all this stuff, right? So 6 times yesterday, Zillow said, hey, the lead you got that stopped working is looking again. That excited me because I've been talking about this for weeks now, right? There's gold, what I write down there? Somewhere I wrote in here. There's gold and then there are hills, right? Those leads that we've amassed week over week over week for the last 1.5 years or 2 years that got beat up and destroyed in the market that couldn't buy a house. Well, now they think they can. So it's time to reach out, and you guys have that pipeline. We're going to talk later about prospecting, but the first level order of prospecting is the people that you already have in your database, right? Whether it's Zap or whether it's Business Builder or whether it's your phone contacts, whatever it is, that's the place you need to start. But 2023 is going to take sales skills and focus, and we're here to support you. What do you see what we've got coming up for you? So stay tuned. The industry is going to shrink and we're going to expand. It's already happening as I see the market share. We're not taking more listings than anybody else. We're not taking a lot of listings, but we're taking them more than anybody else because of focus, right? And why do I say the industry is going to shrink? Because we terminated 25 agents in the last week. For what reason, Joe? Do you know?
Well, they're not performing and they're not paying their dues.
Yeah. And if an agent doesn't pay their dues, then they turn off all of our access to MLS. That's their leverage over us. So we either have to terminate them or we all lose our MLS privileges. And God knows we don't want that to happen. So if we lost 25, what do you think everybody else is doing? They're losing even more. And how are we going to do this rapid change? We're going to focus on having fun and making money. And we're going to play this game called Agent Archetypes, which is coming from Century 21, who hired a mastermind group and invited me in it. And the guy brought up this concept. And I'm going to do it really briefly here because then the manager's going to take it off and run with it after I finish this. But the concept is very similar to DISC, but totally different. And Mike Puma came up with an idea that I really liked. You know, we've been talking about which lane do you want to follow? Well, now we're going to differ that up again. It's which highway. You're going to get a highway 301 or 75 or 275 or 375 or I-4, right? But when you get onto the highway, then you got to choose which lane you're going to be in. So consider each of these quadrants like a highway, the prospector highway, right? What might be in a prospector highway? FSBO's expired, et cetera. Networking, there's a whole prescription for networking, and then marketing, a whole prescription for marketing, and then converting, a whole prescription for converting. So you're going to learn a lot about that in a few minutes. And creating special lanes with specific content and a step-by-step success guide. So coming up, here's where we're at. My God, our latest inventory is up to 237 from 236 last week. And we've taken 20 listings since last week. We have 50 listings so far this month and 11 are pending. Why would I tell you that? Because 20% of our inventory sold in the first month we listed it. That's pretty darn good. It's not what we're used to, but it's pretty darn good, right? Sales were at 82 for 38 million for just under $1 million. Closing 73 so far for $32 million and 715,000 in commission. Pending to close by 8/31. We have 119 more to go. So that'll put us at 180, 192, $66 million more. And the total commission should be about $1.6 million. And GCI closed, which is not where I like it to be. It's about the lowest I'd like it to be. And then this is a butt puckering moment when I looked at the pendings now for September and I started getting nervous, and Joy will walk me off the edge in a minute, but 9/30, we're only got $1.3 million on the books to close. But here's what's going to happen in reality. We've got a whole nother week to write business here, and we're writing 700,000 a week. So we'll probably get really close to that 2 million, plus we'll push some stuff from August into September. So I am watching this. I just want you to know it. And let's see who's on deck with us today. And we're going to start Paramount Title. And Megan, I'm not sure who else is with you, but I'm going to share.
It's just me this morning. How is everybody doing?
Good. I wanted you to talk about this because we put it, I can make it bigger for you. Lisa sent this out on Friday. I thought it was really good, and it's a good reminder for us. Can you read that?
I can, yes.
Oh, let me start.
The 7 reasons to use Paramount?
Yeah.
Do you want me to just go one by one? So we have the in-house attorney. We actually have a few of them. So a lot of you may know Jeff from our Sun City office. We have Jeff. Yep. And then we also have Danny out in Clearwater. So they're both kind of assisting right now as our office attorneys. They're assisting if you have a hard client who needs an attorney to sit down and talk a closing, or they're assisting in those ways too. So it's not just about just writing some documents up or getting some advice. If we have a hard client that wants to sit with an attorney rather than like a notary or a closer, they'll assist in closing as well. We have multiple locations. We have over 30 locations in the state of Florida. A lot of the agents that use us know that we don't charge a mobile notary fee, which is one of the biggest things with Paramount Title or with our company. So if you're not able to close at one of our 30 locations, then we can send a mobile notary and we take care of that fee. That's not something your client has to eat out of their closing costs. We eat that out of our funds. Personal client support and dedication departments. We have departments specializing for each thing. We have a mobile home department. We have a short sale department. So if I don't have experience in short sale, then it's not going to go under the radar or anything. I'm going to reach out to that specific department to find out the correct answers and how it's supposed to get done. Multiple underwriters. We work with quite a bit of underwriters. So if we have a file that comes up with a lot of liens or judgments, or there's something crazy on it, we can reach out to a different underwriter and see what they think on that and see how they think we can clear it, to see if there's another way around closing to get it cleared the correct way. But some underwriters always require different things when it comes to recordings. Consumer protection. We are big on making sure all your client information is protected. That's why we use our fan closing manager portal, which our IT department keeps up and running. It's really easy and handy to use. We also use the Alana system, which is where you guys get those texts and updates from us throughout the closing process. We use that for your clients. If they need wire instructions or if they need to get something secured, we can also text it to them that way. We try not to send anything like that through email because of how wire fraud is, or how fraud is, period. We don't want to send socials or banking information out through email. Let's see. Highest compliance standards in the industry. We have a department just for our compliance. They send out things daily to us actually to keep us in compliance with, biggest thing is fraud. Fraud is updating with an address or a name, or this person tried to commit fraud with this title company. Here's his information. So they're always sending those out to us. Also with trainings, we do semi-annual trainings with the company. We actually just finished one in August. Closers and processors are always doing trainings. We have our license trainings we always have to keep up on. And then the multiple closing options. A lot of people aren't familiar with the remote online notary session. I think it's wonderful. I'm a commissioned electronic notary, and it's really handy for your seller. So if they're not able to come into closing, or if they're not feeling well, they can stay in their home or in their office and pick up a computer and just do an online closing. It's really familiar to, or really similar to our Zoom call. The only difference is they have to verify their identity, which is a lot of things that they're not expecting, but we have to make sure they're a US citizen and that's them signing. But if they don't want to do that, we can send the mobile notary I was saying we take care of, and then any other office in the state of Florida that we handle, you can sit at that closing. So we have many options. You don't have to come into our Apollo Beach office to sign your closing documents.
Cool. I just thought that was a really good flyer and I wanted you to share it, but I'm sure you have something else you want to say.
I actually just wanted to thank Paramount, or thank Century 21 for using Paramount. We're always looking for constructive ideas and feedback from all the agents and the clients. So if you guys have any, any feedback, just let us know, let management know, and we'll take it all into consideration.
Excellent. And we thank you for doing a good job with our customers.
Thank you.
Cool. All right. So thank you, Megan. All right. We're going to do an archetype comparison. So what we're really doing here is practicing on you guys, just so you know, but we're getting really good at it. So I've asked Thomas to demonstrate how a D might fit into an archetype, and Chris and Jimmy to talk about I's and Julie to talk about S's, but I'm gonna ask Julie to go first and just intro this concept, because they did a really good job on Friday. And I noticed that attendance was a little low, and I think the message needs to be heard. So I'm going to go to here. And I think, Julie, this is probably a good place to start. So you did a class with my dad on Friday talking about DISC, and we all
Yeah.
know about DISC. But then
Yeah.
you did some extra side work, and you said, what if we blended the agent archetype with a DISC? So give us an upgrade on that, update on that, and then we'll go and have Thomas do his thing, and then Chris do his thing. you-
Right. Okay. Yeah. Your dad and I have done 3 classes all together. First one was just introducing the DISC and how to read your DISC and what it means. And then the second one, we talked about how you could use your DISC to team up with another agent in the office, even if it's just for one deal that you feel like you need a little extra help on, by matching up the person's personality profile that is opposite of yours. Then you bring the full DISC to a listing to a client. And then last Friday, we pulled that together with the archetypes that we had talked about previously and that you've been talking about over the last couple of weeks. And I took the archetype and I saw how they matched the DISC. The hunter is a D, the prospector is an I, the converter is an S, and the marketer is a C. And then I took it in talking with Jim, we took it to another little level, and I pulled the 33 listing ideas from Tom Ferry, and I matched the tasks that are most compatible with a personality type. A D is going to be a very direct person. They have no problem speaking to people on the phone, being very direct about what they want. An I is more of a social person. They're going to like to be in social settings and feel comfortable talking to people. An S is going to be a little bit more of a background person and is going to be more of a person that can be a marketer. And a C is an analytical type person. And so they're really good also at marketing, but really good at follow-up because they don't mind, sending out 50,000 emails a day and all that other stuff. So that's where we kind of matched it up. And then you liked it and you wanted each of us to kind of go into it a little bit further today.
So then we decided let everybody play a little part. That's got a note. Puma said he's having computer issues. He can hear the meeting, but he can't see it yet. He's working on that.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Thomas, you're up with the D.
D, I think Louisa just asked what's everybody's personality. So Louisa, I'm a D. If you didn't know, I'm sure you do. But good morning, team. So just as Julie said, a D is a hunter prospector. We're direct, we're dominant, demanding, decisive, determined, and we're doers. Very task oriented. Give us a date, a deadline, and we're definitely going to get things done. So as far as a skill set, what would be best is direct communication, love phone calls. And this is very true. I just can remember back in my field days, I would literally just close my door and just start dialing for dollars. And my whole goal was just go after, get the appointment. So calling expired listings in your area is a good idea. Door knocking in your farm, a newsletter or current marketing update with your business card attached. You also can call and stay in touch with the owners in your farm. Call past clients and see if they're ready to trade up or trade down. That was like my specialty right there, just calling past clients and seeing what's going on with them. Calling absentee owners in your farm and offer to send them a CMA, and create a video in front of a FSBO and text it to the number to the sign. So that's a great idea as well. Also with FSBOs too, is also an opportunity to, now that the market is, slowing down a little bit, it's an opportunity to go talk to FSBOs. And if they don't want to list right now, ask them if they want to do an open house, right? Go ahead and get a commission agreement signed to them, by them. So this way you're protected if someone does want to purchase a home. And if they don't, that might be another client that you can take somewhere else to find a home with. Create run YouTube ads to attract buyers and sellers, and get a celebrity endorsement or influencer to form your community. Maybe the mayor, or school principal will shoot a video with you. So that's the D. We like to get things done with short, to the point, and we like to get things done fast. And when you speak to us, just give us the meat and potatoes. All the other accessories we really don't care about.
Great trick.
So think about this. You're on an interview with us, and we explained that this is the prospector archetype. And these are the type of things a prospector would do.
Correct.
And I ask you, how do you feel about doing these things? And you're probably going to lie to me and say, well, I could do that. But if I said, we're going to go out right now and we're going to go knocking on doors in Harbor Isles until we talk to 30 people. Let's go.
And I would be that guy and say, let's go.
Right.
Because that fits my personality.
Right.
Correct.
But for the audience, if you're not the person who says, yeah, let's go, then you kind of lied to us. But don't feel bad. There's three other archetypes, right? And
Correct.
some of you are going to blend. Like I was with Brian D the other day, and he says, well, I'm really a prospector and a networker. And he is. He goes knocking on doors in his farm, but he networks in his farm. And over the decades in his farm, it's become a party. When they hold an open house, the whole neighborhood comes just to say hi. And they become networking events for the whole neighborhood. So there's definitely a blend between these two. But like by a show of hands right now, if you guys could raise your hand, if you're a D, raise your hand. And there's nothing right or wrong. Raise your hand if you're a D. And then we'll focus you on some of the activities that are more in your realm than other things, right? And if you're not a D, there you go. Good.
And
Some
like you said, Craig, people are a blend. So if like Jeff is a DI, so the D things and the I things are going to be things that are going to appeal to him and he's going to want to do. I'm an SC, so the things that are on the S and the C list are going to be things that appeal to me, and it's going to make you happy to work because it's going to be things that you see yourself doing and like to do.
Yes. I agree. I'm a C, high D, and on my expensive test, I'm a high S, which I do know, but I never tested that way before. So interesting, depending on which test you take. All right, Chris, you and Jimmy are up with the prospector and networkers eyes would fit into that realm.
Yes, good morning. We're focused on the I. So I'm an IC personality. Jimmy, what are you?
I am an extremely high I and an
No way.
extremely high S. You can go figure.
So he
figure.
loves
To talk.
people.
Oh,
and to
see, I
talk.
like to talk. I like to talk. I like to talk.
So with an I, the general personality characteristics and trait of an I are going to be inspiring, influencing, important, interactive, impressive. You like people, you like to be around people, you like to be the life of the party, you like to have the
that's not
attention
me.
on you. Yeah.
That's not me.
You like to show out a little bit. I mean, if you sprinkle in Jimmy's S, you like everybody to have a good time while you're all doing that, and you're really focused on other people. So whereas the D may be more task oriented, the I is very, very people oriented. So
For example, let me interrupt. So Jimmy goes around in a Batman suit, and Chris shaves off his beard and puts on an aviator outfit to go to the Top Gun movie. Those are things you'd never see Craig Beggins do. Because there's no I in mine. There's no I in Craig. Well, there is.
that is true. So if you see here, it says we're best with direct communication, prefer in person. That's why if any of you ever reach out to me and you want to do a coaching call, I'm always going to ask you if you can come in person. We can discuss things over the phone that are basic, but if you need help with direction, help with business, if it's help with pricing, sure, let's talk numbers over the phone. No big deal. We can review that. But if it's something that, hey, I'm looking at this, I need to kick in another notch. I need to do this. I want to do that. Come on in. Let's sit down because I want to connect with you. I don't want to connect with your thoughts and what you're thinking. I want to see you. So everything that we're going to talk about is we're going to find a way to get in front of people. So the list here, door knocking in your farm with a newsletter or current market update with your business card attached. Something similar to a D. A D is going to take the direct approach, go door to door, get everything there. The I is going to hang around and ask if they can come in for a drink. How's everything going? How long you been here? What made you choose this neighborhood? He goes, did you like the color of the house? What about your neighbor over there? Do you think your neighbor might be wanting to sell? So your I is going to talk a lot more. It's going to take us much longer to get through our neighborhood than it is for the D.
I'm going to jump down to using Instagram or Facebook to send story polls, questions to engage potential clients. Again, we want to kind of be the center of the party. So we want to be able to get our face out there. Again, if it's somebody, if I'm in a Batman costume, whatever that may be. But also when you think on the networking standpoint in actually working with the community and networking, I'll use Lauren Fleischman as an example. She said she's a I and a D. She has Lauren's locals page where she actually does a dedicated Facebook page to all the locals where she can actually do things. But for me, I want to go out there and I want to do a video. I'm sure you've seen me do videos. You see them every week. You see when I talk about Moxie, I'm throwing in videos to everything I want because I want a more person-to-person connection that you have with somebody.
Yep. Another thing that we might do as an I is call expired listings. I wouldn't expect the majority of the high I's to do that because
That's why I
there's-
didn't talk about that
because
one.
there's a lot of task in that. If somebody is doing that, you're doing it with the sole intention of getting in front of people because you know an expired listing needs to sell and you know you'll be able to get in front of them and talk to them if you do the right job and you sit down and take yourself a little bit more into your other personality characteristics so you can go directly at them.
Next, I want to talk about reaching out to past clients, see if they're ready to trade up or down. Now, this is a little different than just making calls and just trying to see if they are. I want to know all the meat and potatoes. Unlike a high D is not going to want to know that. They just want to go get in, see if they need it. Where for me, I want to know how the kids are doing. I want to know how the dog's doing. I want to know what updates you did. Can I stop by? Can I drop something off? All that kind of stuff, which also ties into actually kind of in the absentee owners in your farm. Like I want to stop by and I want to drop something off. I want to drop an updated CMA off. I want to be face to face with you.
Yeah, your whole purpose here with these is to create relationships. I mean, that's what real estate is, but you're going to see the I do that in a much more personal fashion, like calling absentee owners in your farm, offer to send them a CMA. I'm going to call them. I'm going to ask them, you go, so do you have a dedicated resource in the area that is going by to check on your property? I'll go by and I'll take some photos. Do you want me to talk to the tenant? You want me to see how they're doing? Is there anything you want me to check on while I'm over there? I'm going to have some really strong communication with them because my goal is, again, to get in front of them because I'm better with direct communication than I'm going to be over the phone. So everything that you see from an I, prospecting and network is geared towards getting in front of them. So if you're an I, you are going to relate to this because you're much better in person.
Yep.
And create a video. So videos in front of FSBOs. Thomas said offer to do an open house. That's something else. And I would also do. I want to get around more people. Let me come in. Let me help you out. Shoot a video too. Get out in front of the house. Get out in front of the FSBO. Go shoot a bunch of videos in front of each of their houses. Shoot a video in front of the office, in front of the sign, and send it to all of the FSBOs. Shoot a nice generic one. But again, the goal here is to get in front of more people.
Yep. And the last one talks about celebrity endorsement or influence. I mean, I talked about Lauren already, but think of, all the agents that are out there in the community doing community videos, meeting with actual owners and doing interviews with some of those owners. Yes, it could be a celebrity or endorsement and influence or whatever you want to call it, but actually getting out there and doing videos and interviews with the community to see what's going out there. Again, people, that's why we talk about, we want to do meetings all the time in person. That's what we like. It's funny how that ties in.
Yeah, and I'm home.
Yeah.
Now, notice some of these things blend from style to style. But Thomas, the D's video in front of the FSBO is going to be very different than Jimmy's video in front of the FSBO as an I.
Yep.
See what I'm saying?
He's going to be strong and direct, and the I is going to be a little bit more soft and personable. So
Mhm.
you'll see a difference even with expired listings. The D is going to be, when you plan on hiring a right agent for the job of selling your home, I could be over there in about an hour to take a look. The I is going to be, oh, tell me about what happened. Man, that must have been horrible. I can't believe you went through that. What would you look forward to on the next time? So you're going to see just a difference in the way they approach it.
Yeah. Mike says, is it legal to have a bowl of mints at an open house? Of course it is. I don't know why that.
Yeah.
All right, converters. Converters are more of an S style, Julie.
Yes.
Converters and marketers, when you think what they do. And let me get this before you start, let me go back up to the top here for a quick second. Because when you look at this, not that, this, the prospector is more direct and not afraid to talk to strangers, cold leads. A networker will be direct, but they want to talk to people they already know. Somebody's in the chamber, somebody who's in their BNI group, right? A marketer is going to be more indirect. They're going to send postcards and mailings, and they're going to do a lot of follow-up with people they like to do with people they know. Where a converter is okay talking to cold people, strangers, not the people who are cold, but the relationship's cold, and they're indirect, right? So it'll be somebody you don't know that you've got to do follow-up with. So that's kind of the concept. So now we go back down to the S part, and you'll see how these things blend.
Yeah, and it's also good sometimes to push yourself outside of your comfort zone, because you'll find that that it expands your horizon, so to speak. I'm an S, and when I was a realtor in Newport Richey, my broker pushed me to join the board of realtors, and he said you would really be good on the board because you're level and you think about things before you make actions. And so I took the leadership class for District 6 MLS boards, and I was on the board and moved into the grievance committee. And it was a more of a social setting than I was comfortable with to begin with. But then I found that it was actually something that I should have done all along. So, something to think about there too.
Mm-hmm.
The S is converter, marketer. The S is supportive, steady, stable, sweet, sensitive, and sentimental. Best with indirect communication, prefers texts and emails. So some of these things on the list I did when I was an agent. I would say I was probably around 50,000. When I left, I was about 50,000 a quarter, and really didn't have to try, because the method that I had set up for myself was bringing leads right into me, and it was just keeping a pipeline. If you can just become comfortable with it, it will pay off. Text and send a note to the expired listings in your area instead of calling. An S would prefer to text or send a note. Handwritten notes, letters to potential clients, along with your profile, business card, and a current market update. Again, an S would rather send a handwritten note or a letter than call. Create a mailing campaign for your farm. Prepare a CMA for past clients and see if they are ready to trade up or down. Send a note or letter to the absentee owners in your farm to offer to send them a CMA. Get local businesses to advertise in a monthly newsletter. Sign up for seller and buyer attraction sites, Knock, Ribbon, Home Partners, Divvy, because that's all things that you can do behind the scenes as a converter type person that doesn't require social things that we're not comfortable with, and run radio ads to attract buyers and sellers. So again, these things that are on these lists are from the Tom Ferry listing leads handout. There's tons of other things that I know Craig and Mike are working on. This is just kind of a sample to get everybody started.
Yeah, because and I was thinking about this the other day, when we would teach you all at Beggins University, you would come and we'd teach all of this stuff. And it just dawned on me that a lot of this stuff is like, hell no, I'll never do that. Right. So if we could put you into it, not to stereotype you, but put you into a group and say, okay, maybe Monday we're going to work on the marketers. And maybe Wednesday we'll work on the networkers, and maybe Thursday we'll work on the converters, and maybe Friday we'll work on the marketers.
That's
And
fantastic.
then, we'll get more creative things. Like there's a chat going on here. Mike was asked about using mints, and Kat chatted in, put the mints into a little silky bag with your business card, and that'll get them working for you. So that's something that what personality style or what archetype would be like that?
An S.
Probably an S, right?
Mhm.
You put me and my analytical D in there. No, I'm not gonna spend my time putting friggin' mints in a silky bag. Right? Okay, last one, Joe, is our C's.
Oh, our lovely C's. So, being a D and working with a C, or when you look at D's, Thomas made the comment, like, I just want what I call the Reader's Digest version of what's going on. The C not only wants to know why you need to do it, but they really want to know why and how, like why do you do something? So if you're a D, you definitely want a C on your team, because that C
Frozen.
Are we losing?
It's amazing. He froze. Brett, when is his turn? C's love data. Ruh-roh. Well, I'll pick up while he's doing that.
hello,
So
Oh, there he is. Okay.
my back.
you were
I'm
dead
sorry.
45 seconds.
Oh, okay. All right. So I'm not sure what you heard, but
Nothing.
okay. So what I was saying, if you're a C, you definitely want to find yourself with a D, because the D is going to have an overall idea and the C will have the plan for the idea, and they'll be able to execute it. They'll set up the steps. They're very good at you know, here's the marketing plan and here are the steps I'm going to do for the marketing plan. They're going to think it through. Not only will they have a letter to go out, but they'll have 5 letters to go out for a plan. They're good at behind the scenes, you know, when you're talking about being analytical and a marketer, they're great for marketing. As this thing says, and I would definitely want to read, obviously they're going to sending text and working behind the scenes and sending notes. That's following their plan, how they're going to do it. They're not going to want to, they're not like an I and a D to be actively talking to people at a party or something. They're going to be behind the scene. They're like sending they're going to want to, if they're sending expireds or absentee owners, they're going to send letters out and they're going to farm. Local businesses, they're going to send letters out. So this is really what a C likes to do. They're behind the scene. You know, if you ever work with a C, you'll know how frustrating they can be, because they want answers to everything and they want to know exactly every little thing about the procedure. And you just have to know how to deal with them. And if you are a C, then you know, Angelique, that it will be, you know, everything will be laid out. I mean, go look at the at our Next Level University, how well that's laid out.
And the C will make sure that not only is the bowl of mints full, but that all the mints on top are perfectly proportioned.
Yes, and the card is tied
And
just
the
the
card
right
is
way.
just right.
Yes, to the thing. You're absolutely right. Yep.
Yeah. So I hope you guys are getting something out of this. The idea is, you know, let's strengthen what we're good at and have fun and make money. Right. And to that point right now, I see Crystal's online. So Crystal announcements. So Crystal has decided to step back into sales, which I'm honored, because she said, you know, my sales business is falling down and doing this real estate management stuff. And your company has so many tools, I can do really well here. So where did Terry go? He was online. Oh, there he is, right in front of me. He's front and center. So Terry Kelly is new with us. Terry has taken on the regional president position, taking over Crystal's role. And he's got an amazing background. We've been working with Terry for probably 3 years trying to get him on board with us. He's been with Remax. He's been with Berkshire Hathaway, held management positions at both. And Jeff, maybe you or Mike want to add on to that? You're muted if you're talking to me.
Yeah, well, I think we could both chime in on this one. Terry, we've known for a while now, and we've been trying to figure out a way to work with him for years. And it's just everything's timing in the right time. And he's just a wealth of knowledge and just an amazing addition to our leadership team. And so he's coming with, you know, he could do his quick resume bio better than I can, but his experience is just awesome. His ethics align, his morals align, his ability to coach and train and inspire. It's just a perfect addition to this team. Puma, what do you want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, he certainly made us work for it. We I think I think it took about 4 years and a dozen lunches to finally convince him that he was in the wrong spot and we were the right spot. But yeah, he certainly brings a level of leadership that we absolutely need if we're going to continue to scale and grow the virtual side of things, which is our intention. And I'm excited. He's already made an impact on the agents that we already have. He's already brought on new agents in the short time he's been with us. So the sky is the limit for sure. But I'll let Terry chime in too and give his background a little bit.
Well, I owe you guys lunch for those comments. That's great. No, it's really been a little overwhelming, actually, in a good way, because the tools that you guys offer the agents are absolutely crazy compared to places that I've been. And I've been in the business since 1984, was a managing broker for Berkshire Hathaway, was a mortgage loan officer. So I've been around the block in the business, and I've told agents, and I tell them all the time, there's probably not a situation that I probably haven't seen, you know. And when I really got to looking at this situation, this opportunity, it really wasn't a hard choice. It was just when, and it was timing. And so I'm the low guy on the totem pole as far as contributing, and my job's easy. My job's very easy because you guys make it easy, and I appreciate that. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I like having you view our products as superior to those other big companies you've worked for, and you haven't even seen them all yet. So I'm looking forward to seeing you after your official onboarding.
Exactly.
Cool. All right, we'll get back to our agenda real quick. And a special thank you for Crystal too. And Crystal's still with us, so feel free to refer your Orlando business to her. And let's go to the agenda. Okay, on deck. Jeff, I had maybe a bonus for you if you want to add something to the archetype conversation or not.
I don't have, everyone's hit it so hard. I'm just so excited about this one because as we're going into a market that's changing, we're always going to stay ahead of it, guys. We're always going to guide you where you need to be to make sure that you're prepared for whatever the market throws at us. But what I like about this, Craig, is that no matter who you are, at what level you're producing, every one of us has a next level, as we know. And then we may find ourselves wondering about our next level when we didn't even realize that we needed to go find one. So what this does for me is really makes it simple to jump onto the freeway, the highway that is most path of least resistance, I guess it will, because we don't want to do the things we don't like to do. And this just helps us cut through the BS and figuring out what's most likely for us to enjoy. So any one of us at any level that wants to add a couple more production deals a month, a quarter, whatever it may be, this is the way just to kind of jump in and do something that's naturally going to resonate with you and just be easy. So that's what I'm excited about this one, is now everybody has a clear path to add another 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 grand a month into your paycheck. So that's all I add to that.
There you go. So more to come on this. So if you're a prospector, what do you need? You need a data system for tracking expireds and FSBOs. You need a CRM, a follow-up system. You need a direct mail program. You need a conversion-oriented website. You need testimonials, reviews, and proof of results. You need a phone, maybe a dialer. That's up to you. I say no to the dialer. But that kind of puts you in a path. If you're a prospector, this is what you got to be good at. But guess what? We have all that stuff for you at no additional charge. If you're a converter, you need a budget, right? Because you have to buy some leads or pay referral fees on leads. You're going to have advertising programs, lead generation website systems you have, but you got to get into Moxie and turn on Engage and get all that shit working, right? Follow up in the lead system, we have that in Moxie. A religious commitment to follow up, we have that with Moxie when you do it right. The marketer is going to need a niche or a brand or oriented website. You have that. You're going to need content. You're going to have to create that. Puma's going to show you how to do that, the marketing guide. The networker needs a CRM, needs an email marketing touch system. You've got that in Moxie. Business card website, we've got all that. Social media presence, time and friends. What do you expect? Networkers convert at a higher level. Prospectors convert. You got to talk to 100 people to get one to do something. You got or 1 to 4 to do something. So it goes into more data that we can show you, and then challenges you're going to have in each area and what you need to require. So if you say you're a networker, well, that requires you have relationships in a community and an identity. Do you really have that? If not, we got to build that. So maybe you'll start out as a converter to get some cash in your pocket, but while you're building your network, because you want to become a networker. So it's got a lot more to go than what we're just touching base on here. And Top Agent Mastermind. I hope you guys are taking advantage of Century 21's doing some really good stuff. And it's an hour out of your day. And if you're a master's and above, you're getting emails from that woman and she sends you a link. You got to register because they count how many people go because their jobs depend on their effectiveness. But if you're not doing it, please register. And if you did, comment or send me a text or chat and tell me if you liked it last week. And then there's another thing for everybody. It's called the Changing Marketing Series. You got to register on 21 Online or Century 21 University rather. And if you watched last week's, once again, put a chat in there, let me know. And if not, go into 21 Online and register for the next 5 because they're coming up. We have 2 new agents to welcome. I'll do that from my inbox. The Zillow, I'll do that from my inbox. Easter Seals getting down to business. If you're one of the people that are sponsoring, the 21 the closings for kids, where you donate $21 out of each closing, we've got 20 seats. We're going to be the key member sponsor. And so along with that, I get 20 seats. So we're going to offer those 20 seats to those of you who are in the Closing for Kids program first. And if not, we're going to pick others to expose you to Easter Seals. But that's a save the date item for November 1st from 11:30 to 1:30. And I'm not sure where it's out, but it's somewhere in Tampa. Ribbon reminder. On Thursday, I did a class with Ribbon and I'm like, what the hell am I doing a class with Ribbon for? That's stupid. We don't have multiple offers. We don't need that anymore. And boy, did I get my head screwed on wrong. What a cool idea Ribbon is now. So we have 112 agents who are certified with Ribbon, which means they take their little test on the site and they have access to the portal. But watch this, okay? I want my attention, which have my attention. So watch this. You've got a VA buyer or an FHA buyer trying to buy a house. And there's a challenge on the appraisal, or there could be a challenge on the appraisal, and that you gotta be closed by the closing date or else shit's gonna happen, right? Well, the seller can counter that the buyer has to provide a Ribbon addendum. It's gonna cost the buyer 1%, but that will guarantee the closing date and remove the appraisal contingency. Or the seller can say, you know what, I've made so much friggin' money on this house. I just want the convenience to know that it's gonna close on September 12th. So I'll pay the 1% to Ribbon to guarantee the closing. So Ribbon did a pivot and it went from guaranteeing a buyer's offer in a competitive situation to making a seller comfortable that they're going to close on time and not have to deal with appraisal issues, all for the mere cost of 1%. So that's a cool thing to know. And you know my saying, right? Awareness gives you flexibility, flexibility gives you options, and options give you power. So now that you're aware of this, you have options. But if you're not certified with Ribbon, you don't get onto the portal, so you can't get help. So we have 112 agents who are certified on the Ribbon portal, but that means there's 300 that are not. So if you want to be in a position to take advantage of that, it's ribbonhome.com is the website. It's sign up, it's free. You get your name in the system, you get an advisor to talk to. So if you get into a situation where you think that that tool might help, you have access to it. If you get into that situation, you think that tool might help and you're not registered, you can't get help. So put that on your list of things to do. Ribbonhome.com. Tony, you're funny. I'm none of those. I'm more like a loose fire hose. Is there a classification for that? Yeah, it's called a blind squirrel. There you go. Lauren, they're great. I've attended both and registered for the remainder of the year. And we, as Baggins agents, have so much to contribute. So we have you're talking about the agent masterminds. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Back to this. Boom, 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 ribbon runner. Jamie, are you ready to talk real quick about the Wizards? You did the video last week on the Wizard. That was pretty cool. But you've done another thing for that now. And then you want to just to put another plug in for Leads Engine, which is coming very soon.
Okay. Yeah. So a couple things. You do have the August Wizard article around insurance is in Moxie Present under the non-listing side. So if you need to print that up, you need to find it, you want to send it out, it's there. Also, It is set up in Moxie Engage for an e-blast. So if you have 500 people, 1,000 people in your CRM, you are now able to blast out that August Wizard article, which is pretty fantastic there. So
Which, going back to those archetypes, many of those said, you're going to do email blasts and stuff like this, right? So we're giving you the content for the email blast and the tool to use to send it out and the education on how to get it set up. So just want to say that.
and then finally, I did want to talk about Leads Engine again. So starting at the beginning of September, Leads Engine right now, we do not have the engagement rules on for Leads Engine. That means when a lead comes in, work it, do whatever you want, but there's no engagement rules. Like in Zap, we used to get red balls if you did not update on a broker lead. Starting at the beginning of September, that is going to be turned on. So if you get a lead and you don't know how to update it and you do not update it in time, you will lose the capability of getting more leads until you figure out how to do it. So there's training out there. You do have to get into Moxie Engage to be able to do that. I will be sending out some more training too, just to kind of push towards that. So beginning of September, engagement rules will be turned on. So if you haven't gotten into Moxie, you're about 5-6 months behind. And then finally, Zap, if you are still using Zap, Zap goes read only on the 9th of September, which means if you're using Zap still and you're trying to add people, you won't be able to do that anymore. It's still there and it'll be there till the end of the year. Business Builder, CMA Toolkit, and Zap will be completely gone on the 30th of December. But as of the 9th, you will not be able to add anybody into Zap anymore. So please jump in. And if you need help, there's a ton of resources that are out there for you for that learning. And obviously reach out to me if you have questions.
Hey, Jimmy, well, I'll bet $100 that after the 9th, people are going to call and say, hey, how can I can't get a Zap anymore?
Hey, I have canned email addresses ready to go. So when I already prepared with the instructions on how to actually get it done, and I will do a training and you'll get a tech tip. I mean, there's going to be multiple ways of getting it. So if you're not paying attention, you'll learn quick when it's not there, when you can't get any more.
There you go. Okay, this is important. It's important to us. Top workplaces survey comes out tomorrow at 6 p.m. You know, it's really important to respond to that and take the survey, good, bad, or indifferent. Of course, we prefer good, but we've been a top company now for, I think it's 12 years in a row. Top workplaces, that's a big deal. So we would appreciate it if you'd keep an eye out for the survey, make sure it doesn't go into spam. It should be sent. Energage, I think, is the company that'll be sending this survey out. And, you know, make sure it doesn't go into promotions or spam. It won't take long, and just get it done out of the way. Because I think we have like 4 weeks to get the responses in, but in 4 weeks, it'll be accidentally deleted or at the bottom of your inbox. So we all know how that works. Okay, I'm going to go to my inbox real fast. Zillow market updates. So this is for flex brokers only. And I'm going to read some of this to you because it's not the best news, but it's not bad, right? None of this is bad. US home values fell 0.1%. So Terry, my house is worth 300 grand. It dropped 0.1%. How much is that? It's $300. You're going to write home, cry about that? Because 1% of 300 grand would be $3,000, right? So 10% of that is $300. That's what Zillow is saying. Home prices declined. Home values fell last month in 30 of the 50 largest metro markets, but are still up 16% from a year ago. Right? Rising inventory is being driven by homes lingering on the market and new listings trailing pre-pandemic levels. Nobody wants to move now. You know why? I was talking to my neighbor in the driveway the other day. He bought the house next door to me for $1.2 million. And he just got his trim notice and his taxes are $20,000 a year. Right? The house is now worth $2 million. So if he sells, the person who's going to buy that house is going to have a $30,000 tax bill. So the person who's living in their house, like me, who's been here forever, I've got a very, very low tax basis. Even if I went and made a lot of money on my house, when I bought another house as expensive, I'm going to be paying triple to 3 times the taxes. So that's another reason people aren't putting the houses on the market, which I haven't talked about lately. Rent appreciation is slowing, but the growth rate remains much higher than pre-pandemic levels. So rents are still going up, just not as fast, but rents are ridiculously high. Demand for the lowest priced homes is strongest as the market rebalances. So they're looking for lower priced homes, but we don't have any. Right? And there's a whole bunch of graphs and everything's looking good there. These are the important things. Inventory sales and price cut trends show home buyer demand has cooled across the board, but competition is strongest for the lowest price homes in each market, reversing a pandemic trend. Okay, so you're going to see more activity in your lower price ranges than your higher price ranges. Inventory fell furthest for the most expensive homes over the majority of the pandemic, but now inventory for the least expensive homes is lagging behind other price tiers too. Sales for the lowest price homes surpassed sales for the most expensive homes starting late 2021, closing a historically large gap between the two price points. And price cuts are now most common for middle and high price homes. Price cuts, not depreciation, price cuts. 4.81 million existing home sales. That's down a lot from the 6 million we were at. Total inventories at 1.3 million. Median existing home price for all houses was 403,000, up 10%. So nationwide, prices are up 10% over last year. So is that depreciation? Is that no? And this is interesting because housing starts fell to 1.45 million in July, down 9.6%. Why did that happen? Because the builders got scared and they stopped putting inventory on the ground because they saw market slowing. So now it's going to keep inventory shy. Housing permits issued between July were down 1.3% from June and up 1.1% from a year ago. And then mortgage rates decline slightly last week, which is crazy. Inflation data released last week came in below market expectations, resulting in interest rate declines and a rally in the equity markets. So, what do you take from that? I don't know. Confusion is pretty much what I get when I see that.
Craig, can you send that to us?
Sure.
Thanks.
This is that changing market series I told you about for Century 21. Go to 21 University, changing market series, register for the classes, and there's 2 flyers attached, but I think I sent these to you already. 2 new agents I wanted to comment on. So Heather Dana is formerly known to us as Heather Griffin from a long, long time ago, but Heather's rejoined our team. Jeff, any comments, or Julie, any comments about Heather?
Yeah, Heather reconnected with us through your father, and Jim came to me one day and he goes, "Hey, Heather's coming back," and of course I never knew who she was. And she's wonderful. She came in here for some of his Monday morning meetings, and we got to know her. She has, as you said, a real estate background already. She was with us before, $1 million producer. And we're really happy to have her back, and hope we can keep her and help her grow.
Very good. And then we have Shauna Hoyt from Madeira Beach as well. Go.
It's like return to home week, because she was with us before as well for a little while. And when Otis was coming over here to do coaching, and she has 2 adorable little boys, and she's come back to us, and she's going to be helping Jeff with some of the new building projects. She has an interior design background, and so that'll be very helpful for us with all of the new building projects.
Very cool.
Yep.
And Teachable. Okay, I got to show you this real quick, because if you guys, we come up with, we're showing you a lot of stuff that maybe some of you don't know about. But I'm going to go here to C21 Beggins.teachable.com with my mouse. Someone move the monitors. So this is C21Beggins.teachable.com. And Angelique just, she alphabetized everything. So go and find something, you just look alphabetically for it, like you want logos or social content or scripts. But more importantly, the newest thing here is this table of contents. So you click on it, right? And then you hit start. And then if you read, it says to search a particular topic, use Control F or Command F on a Mac. So Control F. Oh, my things are like brings up this box. So if I want to find knock, what is a knock program? I type in the control find and it brings it up, and then I can click on that's knock. Oh, there's 3 different options. So I can control down the next knock for sellers, knock home swap video. So I can watch the video of the knock program, or I can read about the knock for sellers program. And there it is, financial programs designed with sellers in mind. Here's a get approved, buy your house, buy your new home, then sell your current home. So this is a knock program. So if you needed a flyer, you want to do a knocking on doors or something, this is how you use the resource center to find things, right? And you can go back to the previous lecture, or just go home and then go back to the table of contents. You have to use control find from the table of contents. So start that lesson and then control and press the F button. And if you want to learn about ribbon, you type in ribbon here. And there's the ribbon video. So it's a class we just did. Right. So that's just going to pop up. So I want you to know that was there. And a reminder, Zillow team, we've got a Flex advisor talking to us this week. If you guys are heavily thinking maybe a converter might be your thing, let me know and I'll send you a link. You're welcome to watch that Zillow training. So it's really explains a lot about the future of the real estate business if you're a converter. If you're going to take leads from other people, and the whole thing, even Cardis now is on raw lead conversion. We gave you 6. How many did you close? If you closed a bunch, we'll give you more. If you don't close a lot, we're giving you less. If you don't close a lot for a long time, we're giving you none. So that's all going away. I talked about these reminders last week, so I'm not going to do it again this week. Here, leads are pretty stable. Century 21 is banging it out again, right? And relocation strong. Op cities, we've worked out some of the bugs with our cities, so that's getting better. Zillow Flex is like more than we're supposed to get, but it's really down from the hundreds we were getting before. And there's a couple of reasons for that. Birthdays this week, we have Alex and Dawn Zimmerman and Shane Crawford, Felicia Sailors, Adam Benigni, who I've met now. Joe Leto's nephew, Tanya Jefferson, Amanda Aponte, and Ken Tison from Sun City all have birthdays this week. So happy birthday to them. We covered that last week. And there's a chat. Exactly. Mike says that. Perfect. Great. Welcome back, Heather. Yeah. Okay. And Regina asked me to show the D slide again real quick, which I'll do. C, I. There you go, Regina, all for you. See that. And if you want to just call me and I'll send it to you. Or text me or whatever.
And Angelique did put that in the Next Level Resource Center, so people can go back and look at those lists.
Ah, perfect. So
Yeah.
just go to c21.com/teachable and go to the table of contents and click on the start show, and then in the find, probably type in archetype would probably be a good keyword to find that. Ashley, you were very quiet all day. What's cooking in your world?
That's when I usually say you're welcome. Well.
Oh, you're very quiet. You're welcome. I got your joke.
No, I'm just looking for, I'm adding additional lead sources and.
I had a
just
consultant call.
along.
Ashley has a consultant that we've hired to help her. And we had a report with her last week, and Ashley's doing amazing things. Our consultant said nationwide, the brokerages are just failing in relocation because everything's down. And Ashley's done a very good job creating new relocation sources. And I will tell you, one of our sources is angry with us right now. They're called Prime Street. They said, hey, you got 4 agents who have not updated their leads. We're pausing you. We're not going to give you any more. So the big change that's happening now in that part of our business is if you're not responsible with the leads you're getting from these third-party sources, they're going to cut you off at the neck. And they're just not going to give you leads anymore because they're not making any money unless we close the deals we give them. So, but if you're playing the game, and what I tastelessly call kissing the ass of the app, it's gonna penalize not only you, but the whole team. So it is a big deal. So when you're getting these type of things, you gotta do it.
Yeah, and a lot of them are going directly to the agents too, so, you know,
So Ashley's trying to
kiss
go,
the
kiss the ass of the app. So we're trying to use eReal Location as a third-party resource now, because it will ping us to tell us that you're behind on your stuff, which we shouldn't have to do, but it is what it is. Okay, well, that's all I got. I didn't show the end slide, but that was the last slide. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attention today, and we will be around if you need anything.
Hey, one last thing.
Yes. Oh, yeah, Tom Ferry.
Say we have a virtual streaming ticket for the Tom Ferry Success Summit. And we can't broadcast it because it's not our intellectual property. So it's not going to be broadcast on Zoom, but we will be playing it here in the Apollo Beach training room. So it'll be playing here today, tomorrow, and Thursday. It basically goes from about 10 until 6 p.m. each day.
Okay, it's 7 p.m.
Well, the 7th, if you look at the schedule, that's kind of like a get together type happy hour things where they break off. So some days it's 5, some days are 7, but some of them are kind of get togethers.
Okay.
But they might do different things with the streaming. If you're looking to up your game, if you're looking to kind of increase your business, if you're looking to get re-engaged, this is a great opportunity to start seeing what a lot of other top agents are doing, what a lot of coaches are doing. There's a pretty intensive schedule. They go through listing presentations, prospecting, different ideas. Julie pulled a lot of the ideas for what each archetype would do for prospecting from Tom Ferry. So there's a lot of great information here.
It's like 9 o'clock is Tom doing a kickoff, and then the listing presentation that wins every time. Book 100 appointments in the next 12. And these are 9:30 to 15-minute little segments. Break down and break through. It's time to get real. Boom, boom, boom. Agent to investor, own 100 doors in the next 4 years. Just really kind of interesting stuff, right? And then Tom Ferry doing recession-proof your business at 105 to 235. You can go to tomferry.com and just click on events and click on the success tour, and you can find all this stuff you have to register for. And then day 2, yes, it wraps up at 5 o'clock. That's Texas time, so it's 6 o'clock our time. And then you're going to Gillies to put your boots on. And then day 3, oh, that was at the bottom. I closed it. So anyway, that was that.
It'll be playing live in a training room here. So if you want to come in person, come in, network with some other agents from any office, you're more than welcome to come by. So we'll have it up here. Come in and check it out.
Cool. All right. Happy Tuesday.